Look, after their success in the lower house last week in passing the climate change bill, they've got to get into the Senate now for negotiation. After modifying and altering the bill already, the Greens have announced they will support the legislation. But to pass the Senate, it now relies on the new crossbencher from the ACT, former Wallabies player David Pocock. Dennis, what demands is Pocock making of this bill?
Well, look, what we're seeing here is pressure on other areas of the bill. The Teals independents and the Greens, they have supported the 43% carbon emissions floor by 2030. They've done that, so that's going to get through. So Anthony Albanese had a big win, he had a big headline win. The 43% he promised is going to be passed. But what we're seeing here is the real fight that is going to go on as the Greens and the Teals try to create themselves a bit more relevance. They've been cut out of the debate effectively by Anthony Albanese on the 43%. And what we're seeing here is David Pocock arguing about the credit scheme, the way that people can get credits, carbon credits by growing trees and various other carbon reduction processes. And what it is, they're fighting a fight elsewhere. Now, we also know that there's going to be a fight over the government's review of the mechanism that will govern how that 43% is applied to individual industries and individual companies. So what we've got, big headline passed, yes, big victory. What we've now got is a real fight over the detail and questioning on other parts of the legislation which could have the same impact or an even worse impact on some of the industries that will be affected by all of this sort of sideshow on other legislation.
Which can be rightly argued as an indirect carbon tax, but that's an argument for another day. I guess it comes as no surprise, Dennis, last week, Water and Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek cancelled a Queensland coal mine licence. Here was Plibersek and former Nationals leader Barnaby Joyce on Breakfast TV this morning.
The reason I'm proposing to block this coal mine is because it's less than 10 kilometres from the Great Barrier Reef Marine National Park.
So we've got to be really, really careful of saying the word no. Like, we've also got to understand the reality we're in. If we want to become as strong as possible, as quickly as possible.
What concerns me, Dennis, is the security of our power. Will we ever see any new coal and gas developments in this country? And therefore, will we face blackouts as a result?
Well, look, the simple answer here is that the Labor government has always said that they will use environmental and financial background to decide whether projects go ahead. And yet they create the environmental web which makes them, and the financial pressure which makes them impossible to go ahead. And that's why we could very well see more projects cancelled and ultimately blackouts.
Base load power. Hello, Dennis Shanahan, great to have you on. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.